The paper, The Effect of Information on Voter Turnout, Evidence from a Natural Experiment, by David Dreyer, answers the question, do better informed people actually vote more? An important feature of democracies is universal suffrage. Everyone has the right to vote. However, not everyone exercises this right, and voter turnout varies considerably. Voter turnout varies over time, across countries, and even individuals. This unequal participation has important implications. It can distort the pattern of representation necessary for democratic responsiveness, leading to effects on policy outcomes. Unequal participation can also create doubts about the democratic legitimacy. There have been efforts to understand what determines voter turnout. However, they often take observed empirical regularities as their starting point. Almost all empirical evidence actually report correlations rather than causal effects. The problem is that information acquisition is endogenous, but to make a statement about causal effects in order to empirically evaluate the theoretical work, it is necessary to address the endogeneity problem.
The data used in the main empirical analysis was based on a telephone survey of Copenhagen voters carried out as part of a project to analyze the voting patterns in the referendum. Voters were partitioned into 5 strata: the 4 pilot city districts in which citizens would have first-hand experience of the effects of decentralization, and the rest of the city. The empirical analysis proceeded in 2 steps. First, David compared the pilot city districts with the control districts to make sure that these were in fact comparable. Then, he estimated the effect of exogenous exposure to information on the propensity to vote. To measure whether survey respondents were informed about the decentralization issue, the survey included a question that asked respondents their opinion on the decentralization experiment. If they responded that the experiment went well, medium well, or bad, they were coded as having an opinion and thus being informed. If they responded that they didn't have an opinion, they were coded as being uninformed.
David Dreyer managed to show that if people are informed, there is a greater participation in voting. The authors showed that when the information is given exogenously, it is very difficult to measure the results on the effect of the propensity to vote. However, if the information is an endogenous aspect, the results are much more evident. It is even possible to ensure the causality of a greater voters' turnout in the referendum setting from the natural experiment he used. Not only that, he even tested in different groups of people and the main result remained. In addition, the positive effect of information is much greater in individuals who do not usually participate in local elections and do not incur in a cost for going to vote. It is interesting to ask the question of whether education is somehow related to the number of people who go to vote. In this paper, David Dreyer also managed to demonstrate an indirect effect, where the greater the education, the greater the possibility that you will be able to inform yourself. And since we already know that if you inform yourself more, you will have a greater interest in going out to vote, the effect of education on propensity to vote is imminent.